Hey guys, so I filmed a tutorial on how to do my foundation routine and kind of like an everyday contoured look because I know that a lot of people have asked me questions on how do I use bronzer and how do I contour with bronzer. So I just wanted to show you guys the way I do it. It's, believe me, there's like a million different ways you can use bronzer, and there's a million different ways you can contour, but I wanted to just post this really quick vid on how I contour and kind of like my everyday foundation and concealer routine. So let me warn you though that you guys will see me barefaced, so I highly suggest you put the children to bed, you hide them, or you do something or block them from seeing this video because they will cry and they will have nightmares. You might want to have a vomit bag ready or something, so just to give you fair warning. But yeah, that's it. So if you want to see my foundation / contour routine, go ahead and keep watching. Thanks guys!
Okay, are you ready? My bare face, can you handle it? Get ready! Oh my god, it's so gross! Yep, there it is. So there's my bare face. I warned you. So what I went ahead and did was moisturized my face already, so it's already prepped. So now we're going to put on the Makeup Perfecting Face Primer by CVS, and I'm going to use H&M's dual-sided foundation blusher brush, and I'm going to use the the blusher side of it. And what I recommend is you pinch the brush like that and then apply the primer with it, and that way it is a more concentrated application and it gets like all into your pores and works really well. So what I how I apply it is I dot it on my face first, and then I use the brush to spread it out. And look at my cupcake in the background. That's my daughter Malia. You are going to see her several times in the video. There she is, stalking mommy. I'm not ignoring her, by the way, but if I pay attention to her, she runs away. So I have to pretend she's not there, so she stays. So next I'm going to use the Miracle Skin Transformer Vanish by McNamara. And it's just a really good mattifying primer that also like tightens your skin. So I'm just going to dot this all over my eye area and then pat it in. Ew. So as you can see, I have a lot of imperfections. There's blotchiness, I have dark circles, there's red spots, I got a couple zits. You're welcome. Gotta keep it real, and just like really unevenness like for my skin tone. So now I'm going to use Makeup Forever's 5 Camouflage Cream Palette. You guys actually saw me use this in my brow tutorial, and I'm going to use the orange tone to correct any blue tones. The green concealer I'm going to use to correct any red tones. So as you can see here, I'm using the orange concealer color to correct my dark under circles, and I'm using the green color to hide any of the redness in my skin right by my nose or any, skin blemishes. So now I'm going to use NYX's Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer in Lavender, and I love using this concealer because, whoops, I am a klutz, because it's really great to brighten up any sallow toned skin. So basically that's anything that seems like dull or sallow. So I'm going to just apply this to the outer corners of my eye, which is going to help brighten it up. Next, I'm going to use the Napoleon Perdis foundation stick in look 3, and you guys saw this in, I think, 2 of my videos. And I'm just going to dot this all over any areas that I feel need extra coverage, but I'm not going to dot them, or I'm not going to use it on any areas that I have concealer on. Next, I'm going to use the Revlon Colorstay Foundation for normal to dry skin in color 220 Natural Beige, and I'm going to use the Real Technique Stippling brush to apply this. I'm going to put some foundation on the back of my hand and then dot it with the stippling brush, and then that way I'm going to apply it evenly to where I want coverage. And then I'm going to use a blending sponge from Essence of Beauty, and you want to make sure your sponge is damp so that way it doesn't soak up any product. Next, I'm going to use e.l.f.'s concealer brush, and I love this concealer brush because it's dense and it's really good for blending in concealer. So I'm just going to pat in the concealer into my skin that I've already applied. There she is! Oh, she has Hello Kitty with her. Where'd she go? There she is. Where's she going? She goes in and out. You'll see her. And she's back. I love her. She loves hanging out with me. Look, I think she's dancing. Is she dancing? Is she talking? Watch. She's trying to sneak out. Okay, so now I'm going to apply the foundation to the remaining areas of my face now that I've blended in my concealer, and I'm going to use the blending sponge to do so. And a great tip is to use the pointed tip of the blending sponge and apply it to the really small detailed areas that are usually either missed or not blended as well. So you can actually get into those detailed areas with the sponge and then blend it in really, really well. And we're just gonna pat it and blend it all together. Look, there's my cholo face. What's up? So now don't forget your neck. Oh my gosh, ladies, please do not forget your neck. It is like a pet peeve of mine to see girls with an awesome like face of makeup and then their neck is a totally different color. So there, now it's a lot more even. So next I'm going to use Makeup Forever's HD Concealer in color 325. And I'm going to use this to highlight my areas underneath my eye. And you want to use short, sweeping strokes. I'm going to do like a sideways triangle effect. So next you're going to use the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. I love this brush. It's fluffy, it's super easy to work with. I think it's only $3. And I just use this to pat the eye brightener in that I've just applied and then kind of just like sweep it so it gets applied in the same kind of motion and direction that I first applied it to my face. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you guys get it. So don't forget the other eye. And when you guys are doing this, don't forget to also highlight the side of your nose too. So now I'm going to use Maybelline's Dream Lumi pen in color Buff. And I'm just going to use this down the center of my nose. I like to use two separate colors when I'm highlighting just so that way there's a difference of tone. And I'm just going to pat this product in a straight line down my nose. The next product is NYX's HD Concealer in Light, and this is going to actually conceal. So I'm just going to dot this along the same pattern that I did the highlighter with and use my blending sponge to blend it in flawlessly. And the next one is NYX's HD Concealer in Porcelain. This is actually, I believe, their brightest shade or their lightest shade that they have. You just make two dots on your nose and you just connect them together by just patting the product back and forth. So what this does is it brings attention to the bridge of your nose, and the thinner you make the line, the skinnier your nose is going to look. So you don't want to pat it too wide. And next I'm going to use MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NW25, and I'm just going to use this shade to conceal any blemishes or any discoloration that hasn't been already concealed by the foundation or the correcting concealers that I used before. So now I'm going to use e.l.f.'s Tone Correcting Concealer in Light Beige, and what this is going to do is correct the tone. I'm just going to apply 3 little dots to right below my brow bone, and this is just going to correct the tone of any discoloration in that area to make it more even. So when you apply your eyeshadow, it doesn't look janky. Time to do brows. And you guys can actually check out my brow tutorial. I'll go ahead and link it down below. So now at this time I'm going to take my beauty sponge and I'm going to blend in any creases that might have been created. And then I'm going to take MAC's Prep and Prime Translucent Powder and e.l.f.'s Small Precision Brush and just tap a little bit on there, and I'm going to use that to set the concealer underneath my eye, first by patting and then in a sweeping motion. And of course, you don't want to forget the bridge of your nose as well. So now I'm going to use a fluffy dome brush by BH Cosmetics to apply Milani's foundation powder in color Fresco. And I love this, oops, I am a klutz. I'm going to use this powder to set my foundation, and you'll notice that I'm using a tapping motion when applying my powder, not a sweeping motion, because I don't want to disturb any of the product I've already applied to my face. And you'll notice also that I'm not applying the Milani foundation to anything that I've already put translucent powder on. Now, excuse me while I do my face. Okay, so now we're going to contour. So now I'm going to take e.l.f.'s Blush Bronzer Duo in St. Lucia and a fan brush from BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to just lightly dust the bronzer color onto my face and around the frame of like my forehead and above my temples and then around my jawline, as you will see. Just really light sweeping motions. And what this does, it actually creates a shadow to your face to where it actually makes your face look slimmer when you create shadows around the outside. So now I'm going to take a fluffy dome eyeshadow brush from BH Cosmetics and tap it in the bronzer again and use it in a straight line to define my cheekbone. And I'm just going to do this in a straight line. I know it looks crazy. Look at that. But we're going to blend it out in just a second. So now we're going to use NYC's bronzer in color Sunny along with the contour brush from Real Techniques. I love this brush. It is the perfect contouring brush. So now we're just going to swirl a little bit of product on it and just blow some off and then lightly sweep it across our jawline and then slowly start to blend it in circular motions. And this is going to take away that straight line that you had just created with the darker bronzer. Now you're going to repeat it on the other side as well. Sweep and then blend in circular motions. Now I'm going to take the 10 color palette from BH Cosmetics and I'm going to also use MAC's 116 blush brush. I love this blush brush. It is my favorite. I'm going to use the very light coral colored blush. I'm just going to tap a little bit on my brush, blow some off, and then what you always want to do is tap and then blend. So you never want to just sweep right away. Tap and blend. So that's going to create just a little pop of color on the apple of my cheeks. Next, we're going to use Wet n Wild's Color Icon Bronzer in Reserve Your Cabana. And this, even though it's a bronzer, I actually use it as a highlighter. I'm going to use the buffing brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to tap some product onto the top of the brush, and then first I'm going to pat and then buff it out. It gives a really soft highlighting look. So you could stop here, but I like to contour my nose. I'm going to use the color Espresso by MAC. It is an eyeshadow, and then I'm going to actually pair it up with e.l.f.'s Professional Eye Crease brush. Hello, there it is. I think this brush is like $1. I'm just going to tap a little bit of product on the tip of it And then I'm going to start at the top of the bridge of my nose and connect it to actually the end of my eyebrow, or the beginning of my eyebrow, I guess, and then slowly work in a straight line down my nose, back and forth. I know it's going to look crazy, I'm going to look like a skunk, but we're going to blend it out. I'm also going to sweep it across the tip of my nose, and as you can see here, it hides that like little, I don't know what you call it, that little like hanging thing end of my nose that I absolutely hate. I hate the shape of my nose. So it's going to hide that. So now I'm going to take an angled fluffy brush from Beige Cosmetics and use it to buff out the color espresso that I just applied to my nose. And you don't want any harsh lines. So you want to buff it, buff it, buff it. Now after that, you're going to take the contour brush from Real Techniques just to soften it up and just add a little bit of a transitional color. You're not going to add any product to this brush, you're just going to use it to buff it out. Okay, we are almost done. Hang in there. Now we're going to take e.l.f.'s complexion brush, and we're just going to use this to blend everything in, from the bronzer to the blush to the highlighter to the concealer, just to make sure there's no harsh lines on our face. What's up with my hair? Yeah, I need to go fix this. Be right back. Ta-da! J-Lo moment. So that is how I use my everyday contour. I know it's a lot of products, but I totally love it. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to thumbs up below and subscribe to my channel. See you later.